a warm welcome to our dear friend Bjorn, who will be speaking about entrepreneurship and more specifically about Companion. So I do not want to waste more time, so let's go right into it. Bjorn, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And can you all see my presentation? And can you see and hear me? Yeah, that's great.
Yes,
Okay, let me just put it up on the full screen. Can you still see the presentation?
yes.
Oh, perfect, great. Okay, so thanks for your patience with this difficult beginning. So my name is Björn Granat, and I work at an organization called Coompanion. Um, We are located here in Gothenburg, but we are also on 25 different cities and towns all over Sweden, actually. And in the Gothenburg region, we have been working for over 35 years. And what we do is we support people who want to start businesses together. So if a group of people want to make something happen, preferably preferably a way to do that is to become an entrepreneur and start your own business. Then we are there for them and we are trying to help them as best as we can. And most of the people who come to us for advice, they are starting a business to either face their own needs and make something happen for them as a group, or contribute to solving some sort of challenge that they see in the place where they live or in society at large. So, and you can come to us for free advice about starting business, and we will help you to see what you need to do, and it's free of charge thanks to the support we get from the Swedish Department of Growth, who want people in Sweden to start businesses because, of course, business, small and medium businesses are what drives the economy and generates a lot of tax income also for Sweden. So that's why they have given us this mission for a lot of years and continue to do so. So whenever you come to us, it's free of charge, thanks to them. And otherwise, we are non-profit organization, and we reinvest all our profits. I will talk a bit more about that later on. And yeah, everything goes to just helping more people and supporting our entrepreneurs as best as we can. So I get a lot of actually I meet a lot of people who want to start a business and have different business ideas, and many of them say, I hate to do this alone. I really want to find someone to do this together with. And this is something that we support, and we believe that it's easier and also it's more fun to start a business together with someone else. Um, One of the advantages are that if you are several people running the company, you have different skills and you come with different experiences from life, and you have different talents that you can use. For example, someone might be really good at producing whatever product you are going to sell. Perhaps it's art, or perhaps it's like crafts, or perhaps it's someone is a great cook. But the other person is perhaps very good at marketing and sales. So to be able to have a successful business, you probably need both of those. And if you can put it together two people like that that complement each other, then it's much easier actually to succeed. And also, it's been shown in research actually that cooperatives and cooperative businesses and people who work together, those businesses are more sustainable and have a longer life span actually than other businesses. So, for example, Uh, I'm sure you know that a lot of businesses that start end in bankruptcy or just fails within a few years. But these kind of businesses where you start together with someone else, they are usually more sustainable and yeah, and have a longer life. So it's easier and you are more likely to be successful if you find someone to start your business together with. And I just want to say uh, before we move on, just don't hesitate to raise your hand or call out to me. I'm sure if that Umberto, you can surely see if someone like raises their hand or asks a question. Just feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions. Okay?
Exactly. So just for the audience to keep it organized, so no one can unmute their respective microphone. So if you have a question, please raise your hand, and I will make sure to allow you to be unmuted. So that's the dynamic we're gonna have to keep it organized. Go ahead, Björn.
Perfect. Great. So just if you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand. Okay, and so if you have a business idea or some sort of idea that you want to make reality, how can we help? What can we do for you? So we can basically get you started from scratch. All you need to do when you come to us, all you need to bring is an idea. You don't have to have like a plan or a budget or anything. You need to have an idea and a will to act on it, will to explore it. Sometimes it's we say okay, this is probably an idea that needs to become a business. Or other times we can say oh, this is probably not a business per se, but perhaps this could be a hobby for you, or this could be like a förening, something like that. So if you don't have to know a lot of things about what, but just have a clear vision of kind of what you want to do, then you can just come to us and we will, yeah, help you get started from wherever you are. So just come as you are. And we also we help you look at your business idea and try to tweak it and turn it and see how we can make it as good as possible. And also to help you find where you can identify where you can find your profit, because you need profit to have a long lasting business, of course. And also to see how your idea can benefit other people, like your place you live or the people around you, or a group of people perhaps that you want to benefit. So we will happy to help you with that as well. And also a lot of people who come to us are not really sure about who is the customer, who is going to be willing to buy my product or my service, and who should be my target audience, the target group for this business idea. And we are also happy to help you with that, because it can be a tricky thing, because the the initial thought is often like oh, this is my idea, my service or my product is so good that I think everyone wants it. And if your target group is everyone, then it will be very hard to market it. So we are happy just to yeah, trim down your target audience and help you to reach them. And also a lot of people who come to us have already started their business. They are very eager to get started. So the first thing they do when they have an idea is go to the Bolagsverket or the Skatteverket and just register their company right away. Okay, I want to become an entrepreneur. The first thing I do is start my business. And we often say you can hold on, you can wait for just a second, because there are, as I'm sure you know, there are different types of companies that you can choose to start, different company forms, and some of them are good for some types of businesses, and others are better for other types of businesses. So depending what you are what you're going to do, what is your business idea, then it might be good to have some help getting to choosing the right type of company that you want to start. And this is actually I'll be happy to take some insights from you actually for this question. Why do you think that people start businesses? Do we have like a chat or a place where people can write or suggest something? But
Yes, there's the chat, or alternatively, raise your hand. I like the raising hand part so
yeah,
that people can participate, but they're both. So you
we
can write
can
in the chat. Mhm.
yeah, we can try the chat for now. If you please write in the chat, why do you think that people start businesses? What are the reasons that people start businesses? So please, and I will.
I'm gonna read them so that it's to
Yeah,
get profits. Someone says to get profits.
yeah, that's good. Anything else?
Mm, to have your own salary,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
self-accomplished feeling, to be free from employment, and that
yeah.
was to work for yourself basically, to follow your passion, yeah, passion projects. If
Mm-hmm.
something is missing from the market, and to fill my free time and open to development. These are some of the questions. So,
That's very
to
good.
make
Yeah,
to make a dream job come true.
I like that. The dream. Yeah,
Independence and autonomy as well.
that's also very good. Basically,
Mm,
be your own boss. And
mm.
mhm,
And here another one: have more doors open to freelancing.
mhm, of course.
I would like to add a reason I think people start a company might be to have a second source of income. Maybe they don't want to have it as their main source, but they say, I want to have my um, 9 to 5 job, but on the side, I want to have an additional source that, yeah, for if I have a hobby that can give me some money,
Yeah,
maybe that could help.
yeah, and it's that's a very good point actually. And a lot of people who come to us are not always looking for like 100% just do it entrepreneurship and just be their own entrepreneur just full time. A lot of them have it like at the side besides other jobs. So perhaps they work like a half-time job and
Mm.
run their business as a side project. So that's a very good point actually.
I have a question for you, Bjorn.
Hmm.
Because I know a number of our students are interested in pursuing their own projects after the education. So my question to you is, from the people that you attend or help on a normal basis, how many of them decide to keep their, let's call it, normal job while at the same time trying to develop their company? How common is it for people to do that from your experience?
To quit the job to pursue their
No, to have a normal job, what I call a
yeah.
normal job, and at the same time start pursuing the other one in parallel. How
Okay.
how of how often do you see people doing that, or do people jump 100% in their idea?
No, it's very common to start to start building up your company while still at your own job.
Mm,
And it's also of course we can make like a general recommendation, but it's usually not when you start a company, it's not usually like an overnight success so that you can like earn your living from day one. It usually
mm,
takes some time to build your idea, to just fine tune your idea and find your right customers and right audience. And then of course it takes time to build up a amount of clients and to get profits. So it's very often that people start their business as a side thing while still employed, and then gradually some of them you know, makes the transition between employment and self-employment, basically. Yeah, I hope it's an
Thank
answer
you.
to your
Yeah,
question.
absolutely. Thank you.
Good, thank you. And thank you everyone for your thoughts about why people start businesses. And yeah, here are some other reasons, and most of them I think we covered, and or you covered. Well, basically, it's the as many as there are different people, then there's many different answers to this question. Is there? Because everyone has their own reason. But yeah, it's everything from, you know, making money to find to do things they love, their interest, and make some extra cash perhaps, or just to learn new things, or for personal inner development, or make a dream come true, um, or like change the world to solve a problem that they can see. Someone of you said that that they have figured out something that was missing from the market. So that's one classic thing. They see like, why isn't anyone doing this, or why doesn't this product or service exist? Then it's yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons people start their own business. So that's great. And we all, I'm sure you have seen this, the Agenda 2030. And when we talk about starting business, we always include these, not always the sustainability goals like this, but we always include like asking, okay, how can this be more sustainable, or how can you contribute to a better world, a better society for the people around you? Because as I'm sure you know, the responsibility about the transitioning to a sustainable society is not only on the consumers and the decision makers and politicians, but it's also, of course, on the companies. And we believe that your business idea can be profitable and at the same time sustainable. And in many cases, going for the more sustainable choice is also the more profitable. So yeah, when you come to us, we are eager to help you with this as well, and it's a great way also to make you stand out from your competition if you have a clear vision about how you want to yeah, why are you doing the thing that you are doing. So yeah, I just want to send this with you. And also, if you are unsure, if you want to do something, start some kind of business, and you're not really sure what the business idea will be, then actually exploring this, the Agenda 2030 sustainability goals, is actually a great way to get some fresh ideas on things that needs to be done. Because these are all things that people need, and that society needs, and can you with your business fill some of these needs? That's great. Then you can do like a win-win situation where you can find a profitable business idea and at the same time help your fellow Earth citizens. So it's great, actually. It's a great source of ideas to explore the sustainability goals also.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Also coming a little bit inspired by a question from the chat.
Mhm.
Uh, Although it's this goal, it's nice to accomplish and so on. Starting a business usually, depending on the type of the business, of course, but usually requires some type of financing that probably as an individual I might not have. So
Mhm.
the question that I have also inspired from the chat is, does Companion as an organization offer financing to companies? And if they do, what are typical conditions? What are the typical conditions on that type of help, financial help?
That's a very good question. I will actually come back. I have a slide later on in the
Ah,
presentation about just financing.
perfect, perfect.
But to answer it quickly, we Companion doesn't offer financing, but we have started another organization that is offering financing, which I will tell you about very soon.
Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, our advice also include questions about financing and how you can, because it's sometimes it's like yeah, you should just find sometimes it's a good idea to get financing from the outside, like in a large amount of money at the same time. But sometimes it might be better to build your company organically. So these are the kind of things that we discuss with you in our yeah, when you come and see us actually. But I will return to and talk about financing a bit later. So very good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, and perhaps you've heard of this phrase, social entrepreneurship, which is one thing that is very dear to us, because yeah, social enterprises or enterprises and companies that the main focus is um, their uh, the main focus is to achieve some sort of social benefit, some sort of social or environmental impact on society and on people. And the business is what drives their ability to make change and make that impact. So, for instance, their main goal is not to make as much money as possible, but the money that they make, they are using to reach their goal in social benefit or social impact or whatever you call it. So they use the business operations, so what their business idea and what they do on a daily basis as a way to yeah, try and solve some sort of challenge in society or for some people group or whatever. It could be like improving the environment or reducing exclusion or yeah, strengthen the development of a place or a city or a part of a city or a small town on the countryside. So it's also something that you can, if you want to explore this a bit more, I'm happy to we are happy to help you with that. How your company and your business idea can be of greater use to many people. And I'm also, this brings me also to one thing that that is not talked about very often when you talk about this business development, at least not here in Sweden, but it's a thing that is quite common actually in other countries in Europe and other parts of the world, and that is cooperative businesses, and that is one of our niches as Companion. We have always been working with cooperative businesses, and we are also ourselves a cooperative, which is owned by people like me, the people who work at Companion, and also we have around 100 member organizations as well. So we are a cooperative. And I'm sure you have heard the names of these large Swedish cooperative businesses like Arla, if you buy milk or cream or yogurt, or if you go shopping for groceries at Coop, or if you fill your car tank with gas or diesel from OK Q8 gas station, or perhaps you have an insurance from Länsförsäkringar or some other of the cooperative insurance businesses. So basically, a cooperative is a business that is run in a democratic way, where every member has a vote, and members can be customers, or it could be the people who work there, or it could be other organizations that benefit from your work. So it's kind of a democracy in a microcosm inside a business. So even if you, as many of you I'm sure have been thinking about, including to take in investors from outside, the traditional way of investing is taking in investors is to sell stocks and shares of your company. And if you have a cooperative, you can also take in external investors. But if you do it in the way that we prefer, it's actually a way to do it and still maintaining the integrity and the control over your business. So that's something, if you can feel free to ask me about investing also later. So a cooperative business could be anything really. It could be a school, it could be a preschool. We have businesses within healthcare, creative sectors like theater and musicians. We have a lot of bands actually that come to us and want to start a business together, and they often start cooperatives. It could be also be like IT consultants and designers, and there are shops and restaurants and cafes and hotels that are cooperatives, fashion companies, and we have a whole lot of new digital cooperatives which are platform based, and can be actually have members all over the world because of the internet. And so basically all the possible branches of business could be cooperatives. When we started in the Gothenburg region 35 years ago, there was a shortage of preschool and kindergarten places, because a lot of moms were starting to enter the labor market and started to get jobs, and then of course they needed daycare, and there weren't a lot of good daycare centers. So what did they do? Well, they took matters in their own hands and they started their own cooperative preschools and schools, and many of which still exist today, and new ones still start up actually. And also another example of why people start businesses could be like, for instance, this healthcare. I mentioned healthcare companies. There's a great example of a small town up in the north of Sweden, which name I'm not remembering right now, but they had a vårdcentral, like a healthcare center, which had to close because the government couldn't keep it going anymore, and the private entrepreneur that had taken over it didn't see the profit in maintaining it. So they were actually they found themselves needing to travel many hours to reach the nearest healthcare facility. So what did they do? Yeah, they started everyone in the small town started a cooperative together, and they bought the building for the healthcare center, and they hired nurses and doctors, and started actually their own vårdcentral. So it's also a perfect way to see why those people start things together. It's because they need to, and it's a great way to take control of your situation and empower yourself. So a lot of those we have a lot of those stories actually, and yeah, we love when people work together to achieve these kind of uh, wonderful success stories.
Björn, sorry, I have a
Yeah,
question about this cooperative. So
yeah,
I know there's this Enjul firma in which the person and the company are basically one. There's no distinction. You
yeah,
have
exactly.
you have aktiebolag in which you have a separation in which the company is one institution, and then you have the shareholders.
Yeah.
What I'm confused, when you say people form a cooperative, do you mean that there's a, besides Enjul firma aktiebolag, there's another option called cooperative, or is that people form an AB and then the way that the stocks are distributed form this thing called a cooperative? I don't understand the difference.
That's a very good question, and I'm happy you asked it. In Sweden, it's a bit different in other countries, but in Sweden, there is not a type of business that is a cooperative, but a cooperative is more like a way to organize a business. But with
Okay.
that said, there are many types of business. You mentioned enskild firma and aktiebolag, and there are more. There are handelsbolag, and there's also ekonomisk förening
Mm,
and kommanditbolag. So there are more types of business types in Sweden. And the most common one for cooperatives is ekonomisk förening, which is like an AB. It's their own legal entity, so that you separate your personal economy and personal responsibility from the business. So, for instance, if you have an enskild firma and you make some troubling decisions, then you personally are, of course, responsible for those agreements that you sign and business deals that you make. And but if you have an AB, the AB is the one responsible for the the contracts and other things, the economy in your business. And it's the same with ekonomisk förening, for instance. But to start a cooperative, you need to be at least 3 people. It's basically the same as when you start a ideell förening. But what separates them is that the ekonomisk förening is is intended to make a profit and earn
mm,
money and drive a business. No, yeah, drive business
mm.
actually, which is not
So,
really what ideal föreningar want to do. But
so
with
then,
that said, you can also have a cooperative as an AB
mm,
actually. So the main, and you can also have a lot of people who have their own business, like enskild firma, who can join forces and cooperate as a cooperative, but they still have their own businesses. So it's you can organize them in different ways, but the main idea is that you work together to achieve something, and you help each other, and the thing that you do benefit all the members of the cooperative.
so would it be safe to say that cooperative, at least at the moment, is not like a legal structure that you register for, but a philosophy about how to run an AB or an economics, I don't know, economics forening, or is that correct? It's more like a philosophy on how to organize the structure of the company.
Yeah, in Sweden at least. In other countries, there are actually a legal form that says this is a cooperative.
Mm.
But in Sweden, there are, of course, yeah, as you said, there could be many different business types. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
there's more a
So,
way
so,
to
a-
organize a business type.
so a question from the chat. So it is not a a non-profit. It can be a for-profit.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes, it
okay.
can.
So yes, it can be a for-profit if they
Yes, it
want.
can. And some cooperative, many cooperatives, there are many things that's significant cooperative. I actually think that I'm going to talk about this a bit later in the slide. But most of the cooperatives are organized in a way that they reinvest the profits. But you, as a cooperative, you can also distribute the money to the members. But the thing is that the main idea is that the money that you earn are not going to go to some external investor or some owner, like risk capital owner, but instead it's going to benefit the members who are actually in the cooperative. So that's really the main thing. But yeah, you don't have to be a non-profit. Many of them are, because they usually start a cooperative not with the intent to make a lot as much money as possible, but rather to make a difference or make the yeah, some impact, or to provide some sort of service or that they feel is lacking. But you can also, you can start a cooperative just to with the sole intent to make money for the members. Good questions. Can I take you back to a bit in history? This is 1844, the first cooperative business, like the yeah, is usually shown as the first example of the cooperative business, and it's in England, in Rochdale. And the usual way things were back then was that there was a rich man, often, or rich family, who owned a large estate and they had a lot of employees who worked for them and lived in all around the estate, in the nearby, in the village. And the owners of the estate usually also owned the grocery store, so that the employees got their salary from working in the estate, and then when they bought groceries at the store, it usually went back into the owners of the estate. And they can also control the prices pretty much as they wanted. And then the workers here in Rochdale, picture on this, some of them in this picture, made the decision that they could, why did it have to be like this? So they started their own, they all pitched in a small amount of money each and started their own grocery store, so they could keep down prices and actually basically buy the groceries from themselves instead of their employer. So this is one of the earliest examples here in Europe as for a cooperative business. And today, of course, it's a completely different story. We have a lot of new modern cooperatives that tackle the different challenges that they see in society today. So up here on the left side corner of the slide is an app that is called Resonate, and it's a music app which is basically Spotify, but instead of it being owned by billionaire Daniel Ek and shareholders around the world, it's actually owned by musicians, because it's yeah, for them to have, they create the content, of course, at Spotify and Apple Music and all the other streaming services, and in this way they also get to keep most of the profit for themselves. So it's a way to promote fair shares out to the musicians who actually create the art that these platforms use to make the money. And another one down there on the left side is In-House Records, which is a record label that was started by prison inmates to promote and sell their music which they create, and also to benefit social programs for reforming the inmates and preparing them for life outside of the prison when they serve their time. And you see the healthcare image on the top right. That's actually a screenshot from one of the data cooperatives that have been growing out of the US, actually, where there are a lot of private care givers that are selling the data of the patients to research institutions, and making a profit out of that. And then the patients realize that why are they making money of our data? So they took control over their own data and decided, okay, we can decide what kind of research that we want our medical data actually to go to, and we can make the money instead of these the private hospitals. And also on the right lower side, we see in the gig economy. I know you've heard of the working conditions of many of the delivery personnel, like Foodora and other like that. So this is from Thailand, actually, where hundreds of food deliverers started their own digital service, as a way to improve their working quality and the um, the working, to promote better working conditions, actually, and better salary for the delivery personnel. Yeah, so as I said, we usually cooperatives reinvest their profit to benefit members or the cause that they are trying to impact. And some people, when they hear this, they say like, okay, so are you not allowed to make money? Is it like bad to make money? But no, it's actually the opposite, because you need money actually to have a sustainable and long lasting business, and you can use all the money that you make to make the impact that you're looking for. So yes, you are very much supposed to make money if you have a cooperative. And cooperatives are built upon 7 principles. As you said, it's more like a philosophy, or instead of a business type here in Sweden. And there are things like openness, democracy, social benefit, cooperation, and independence from political parties or government. So that's some of the principles that the cooperatives work around. And just I see that we are running out of time, but before I leave you and leave you open for questions, I will just give some tips for you if you are interested in learning more about starting a business and getting some advice from people who have done it, and also perhaps meet others that are in the same position. So this is a network that we have started. It's called Gothenburg Co-ops, which is a pretty casual network. We see each other like 2 times a month, either for just a hangout evenings, just grab a cup of coffee and some snacks and just discuss the life of an entrepreneur, and help each other to overcome obstacles, and see if you can, if we can spark some new ideas between the entrepreneurs. So it's mostly people who are starting their own business, so who have been perhaps at it for a couple of years, and just seeing each other. We also have a lunch thing every month that we where we come together and share a salad, and we talk about entrepreneurship and talk about starting a business, and we try to help each other as best as we can. So happy to share some information about that if you like to. Gothenburg Co-ops, you can Google it also. And also, I will get back to financing also before I quit. I will also give a shout out to Yesbox, home of entrepreneurs in Gothenburg. It's in Gamlestan. It's a building where Coompanion work, and also 15 other organizations who help people start their own business. So you can come there, and on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, there's an open co-working space, so you can sit and enjoy a cup of coffee and use the wireless internet, and you can meet other people who are also starting their own business. And you can also get help from different organizations like Coompanion and Drivhuset and Business Region Gothenburg and Almi, who are working with finance, and Mikrofonden, which are also working in finance. So a lot of good, whatever you need in terms of starting your own business, I guarantee you will find in this building. And it's called Yesbox, and you can visit that at yesboxgothenburg.com, or just Google Yesbox Göteborg and you will find it, I'm sure. So please stop by and say hello, and spend some time there, and see if how we can help you to help you start your own business. But okay, as promised, financing. Coompanion doesn't provide financing for people who want to start their own business. But with that said, we have started an organization which is called Mikrofonden, Swedish for micro fund, which works with financial advisory, and also they work with microfinancing, which I think is up to 200,000 crowns. And they are an impact investor, so they mainly focus on businesses that have some sort of social impact, or some that do some good things for the society. But they can also help you in contacting with banks and prepare you for meeting with investors, and also help you with advice on how to take on risk capital or donations, or how to work with crowdfunding. But we also like to encourage you to think about things like sharing or borrowing things from other startups and other businesses, or friends or family, to keep down costs for all of you, and also to see what kind of resources that you can rent instead of buying it. So perhaps, and we are also encouraging you to bootstrap a bit when you start your own business, so that we don't recommend starting your own business like right away, and then right off the bat, day one, taking on a lot of costs like office space rent and vehicles and employees, things like that. So we usually say that it's smarter to start as small as possible, and then build and reinvest the excess of the profit that you make, and developing your company step by step. Sometimes that's not possible, and then you need to, of course, bring in some money from the outside, and then we are happy to help you with that. We have a good connection also with Almi, which is the Sweden state financial institute for businesses. They can also help you with bank loans and things like that, and we are happy to prepare you for meetings like that with financing, and also help you to see, okay, what will they would they like. They will probably want to see a business plan and also a budget for the things that you want to do, and we can also help you with that. So you don't have to know a lot of things about financing. You can just come ask us, and we will help you, point you in the right direction, or set you in contact with the Mikrofonden, which are our own financial microfinancing institute. But yeah, feel free to ask us about that as well. And here's my contact information. Feel free to book a free advice with someone from our staff, and stop by Yesbox in Gamlestan if you pass with the tram or the train, and just say hi and see if we can help you in any way. It's always free of charge, and yeah, we want to help you because we want to see more businesses in the Gothenburg area. So questions, anything?
Yes, put them in the chat or also raise your hand. In the meantime, while they think of their questions, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, what would you say is a common mistake that first-time entrepreneurs make?
Well, a lot of the first thing I think about is that is that they don't have an openness for changing their business idea or improving their business idea. I meet a lot of people that have like spent some years on by themselves improving an idea. Perhaps it could be like an app or a service or a product that they really believe in, and when they, instead of testing it on the audience or the market, they are just like very sure about what they think, and I met people who spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on digital platforms, in which um, where yeah, they have taken in some consultants for developing these platforms, even before asking the potential customers if this is something that they want. So yeah, I think the most crucial thing is not to be afraid of asking the customers and the market, and also based on the feedback that you get from them, changing whatever you thought was correct. So and also I meet a lot of people who don't really want to yeah, who want to be secret, have to keep the secret about their business idea. So I meet them and they say like, oh, I have a business idea and I'm trying to develop it. So when I ask, okay, so would you like to tell me about your idea? And they're like, no, I can't really speak about it because it's a secret, because I need to keep it for myself so that no one else steals the idea. And that is also a very hard way to start a business without telling people, because you can't get help from everyone else, you can't get insight from clients, and yeah, you won't get very far. So that's also one thing, to be open about it. Of course you can choose whatever you are open about, and taking the advice and help from others and listening to your customers, that's very crucial.
Going in the line of being open, there
Mhm.
might be cases in which there might be a part of the idea or a concept in the idea that you do want to keep as close to the chest as possible. But
Yeah.
let's say that we do go there, and I do decide to share this with the organization. How
Mhm.
safe is my idea once I have expressed it to members of Companion in this case?
Very good question. We have all our advisors have signed secret, what's the
Confidentiality.
confidentiality agreements, so
Mhm.
they are not allowed to spread information about your idea if you do not choose to, because we also have a wide network of people who I'm sure can be helpful for you. So, but you can be sure that your secret are safe with us, and we have all signed agreements that says we cannot take your your information or the things that we learned from our meetings with you to someone else, because yeah. So it's and that's I know that for a fact that there is the same thing about other organizations that also are on Yesbox, the building, as I showed you. So you can be sure, but be very clear about, okay, this, I want this to stay between us. So when you speak to them.
Mm. We have a question here regarding recommendation into from your experience. Let's say I want to begin with a company that do something small in the area of software,
Yeah.
meaning no manufacturing involved, no hardware
Mhm.
basically. But later, with the expectation of that later in the future, I can start being more involved into manufacturing physical things. Do you have
Mhm.
any recommendation of what would be the ideal um, company structure, AB, Enjul Firma, so on, that can
Mhm.
help me start small but that
Yeah.
flexibility of growing later on?
Oh, that's a very good question. It all, of course, it all depends on what kind of products and what kind of cooperations you will have with other partners or things like that later on. But I would say that start with the thing, the type of organization that is the easiest and the most efficient for you right now, and then worry about the other thing later on,
Mm,
because you can always, even if it's a bit tricky, you can almost always make the adjustment later on.
mm,
It's not we tend to worry about very much about what kind of business or what type of business, but and that sort of thing often um, stops people being creative and testing and trying things. So I would say start with something easy like enskild firma, for instance, or you don't have to start an AB right now if you don't want. You can even, if you want to start um, like earning some money and building up your company, you can all, and if you want to just start fast, like right now, and test your idea and test your services or whatever, you can also go into egenast self-employment. Like for instance, there are services like freelance finance and convoy and things like that, where you can basically send invoices to people without starting your own company, and you have another
mm,
company that takes like 5 or 6% of your profit as a payment, but otherwise it doesn't cost anything to um, to
to
register
use.
for that kind of service. So just get started and try and test things out, and sit down with us and tell us exactly what you want to do, and then we will help you decide what kind of, yeah, exactly what kind
Mm,
of business would be useful depending on what you want to do late now and also later on.
nice. Morten, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I was going back to the presentation itself. You said that um, yeah, company can also link persons to start a
Yeah.
business together.
Mhm.
Is that a part of the co-ops, or is that more like when you see that someone has, for example, a business idea, but they're
Mhm.
missing the capacity or experience of software development, for example?
Yeah.
Do you then maybe then link those two people together, or is it more like you are inviting them to a platform or to or an evening, like you said, that yeah, we would like to
I'm
discuss starting up businesses together, or do you in fact actually link people together?
I'm very glad you asked. We do sometimes link people together when we see, okay, this is a person that we met last week, and then later on we meet another person and we feel like, okay, they are looking for the same thing. Of course we can ask their permission to like link them together, but it's not a service that we provide like publicly, so we don't say like come to us and we will match you with someone. But two things: we have those kind of network meetings that I mentioned, Gothenburg co-ops and other events like that, where we try to, just create an open space for people to come and discuss their ideas. And in many cases, um, people find each other and share and contact information. I have a thing last week where we had a couple who were running a e-commerce clothing store, and they were looking for uh, some sort of web design thing that they haven't really solved. And then we have another girl who was working together in a partnership with a web designer who were looking for new customers or like cases that they wanted to try out. So they found each other like that and shared information. But I also want to make give you another tip, which is a platform that we have had for like 10 years, and uh, we made a like small facelift or adjustment to it last year, actually, and I will share the screen to show you. It's called Coompanion.se, which is a place where you can it's free of charge to use. You can put up an ad searching for people to cooperate with. So the latest here in this weekend, there have been, for instance, there's someone working with solar panels, solar energy, or looking for someone to work together with. And we have another one from last week where in Gothenburg there's an e-commerce who are looking for people to uh, yeah, partner up with their sustainable brand. So we have a lot of things from different parts of Sweden here. Some are more local, like there was like this one, which is in Gothenburg. We are looking to open a new salad bar. A guy who recently who has been he has another salad bar and are looking to expand, and they are looking for someone to do it together with. So here you can contact people through this platform, and you can also put your own ads, like I'm looking to start a company within this area, or I need someone who have this kind of knowledge. And you can just put it up free of charge, and people will read it, and we will be happy to share it on our social media and other channels. So Coompanion.se, I highly recommend you checking it out.
Yeah, I can definitely see the benefit of this platform because I know a lot of students, they might have, let's say, going back to specifically at what we do, they might have
Mm.
a strong background on, or they are studying, for example, Android and data, but they don't have the web
Yeah,
knowledge. So they might be able to combine with people who have that experience in backend or web, and then they can create this product.
yeah,
Björn, we have a question here regarding, you mentioned that going to Dashbox, going to Coompanion, we can go there for free. Is
yeah.
there a limit on how many times we can go there, or it's for free, I can go anytime for free always?
We usually say as a rule of thumb that we have like you can come to us like 3 or 4 times,
Per
but
week?
usually if we it doesn't really take that long for us to see and for the people the person that we meet, for both of us to realize, is this going to be like a successful idea, or they perhaps try something else? And so it usually within 3 or 4 meetings we usually have gotten them going. But of course we have a lot of people who we help start up, and then years later they come back and we will help them with the development, or the if they need to change something, or they have some issues in their what they do, then we welcome them back, so it's no problem. And also we also encourage you to use all the organizations at Yesbox. So it's not just like if you go to Companion, you are stuck with Companion. We say, like, if you come to us and then we see that, okay, you need this right now, you should go and ask this person that we know in this, also in the same building, because they are the expert in this area. And when they so if we see, like, okay, you need to speak with someone about financing specifically, perhaps we send you off to Mikrofonden or Almi. Or if you go to them and they say, oh, you need to work with your business idea, they send you to Companion or Drivhuset. Or if we see that, okay, you need to this product that you are developing, you need to speak to someone about patents and your immaterial rights about this, and when we send you to Gothenburg Inventor Society. So there's a lot of we encourage you to use all the tools in the Yesbox toolbox. But 3 to 4 times usually does the trick. But
Nice.
if we see that, okay, this is very, you have been to us 4 times, and we see that, okay, we are very close to some breakthrough, then we of course will welcome you another time.
Mhm. Thank you. Nice. So I know we started a little bit late, but I don't want to be disrespectful with no one's time, and it's already 20 past. So is it okay, Bjorn, if let's say all of the or the majority of the audience is students, is it okay if I gather their questions, I can send them to you probably via email, and then I can
Yeah,
share back their answers? Because I know many people can have questions, and again, I do want to be respectful with people's time.
of course.
So let's do that. Everyone, you're on Discord, so please feel free to put your questions in there. I will send them to Bjorn, and then in the coming days, I will share back the answers to everyone. So with this, Bjorn, I want to once again give you thanks for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and this information with us, because I know also from personal experience that when you're new to this world of entrepreneurship, it can be a little bit overwhelming, what
Oh
to do,
yeah,
where to start, and who to ask help with,
yeah,
especially if you are not originally from Sweden and you don't
of
know
course.
how the system works and everything. So hopefully for everyone, was very good information. You took notes on the different websites. I posted some of them on the chat. And yeah, once again, Bjorn, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to hearing from you, and be happy to answer your questions.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. And for those, I will see you later in class or in your respective classes during the week. So have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one.
Bye.